Introducing the story of Snow White-ish. Once upon a time. Snowy the cat lives with her owner, Mrs. White, in a lovely cottage in the woods. One day, Snowy overhears her mum talking in her bedroom. Snowy, who's curious about who her mum was talking to, stops to listen. Snowy sees her mum sitting in front of a large mirror and heard a voice say, "The best way to get rid of your cat is to replace your current one with a better one. I would suggest you get one called Henry." Snowy is devastated by the news that her mum wants to replace her and flees into the back garden where she has never been before. In a panic, she takes off running and hides behind a tree. She is eventually found by a group of 7 stray cats who have been out for a night on the tiles. Snowy is frightened and tells the 7 cats what just happened and how she cannot possibly return home. She is lost and doesn't even know where she is. The 7 cats take Snowy under their wing and take her back to their shed where she could stay and feel safe. Snowy loved the shed. She spent her days making it cosy and even plants a little garden of catnip. Snowy makes friends with all the woodland creatures who live nearby, and they played all day. One sunny day, the 7 cats go to the shed to check on Snowy and find her fast asleep in the middle of her catnip patch. They are unable to wake her up, even when they wave brekkie under her nose. The 7 cats gently move Snowy into the shed and lay her into a cold frame where they could take it in turns to watch over her. They would purr by her bedside and bap her on the face in an attempt to wake her up, but to no avail. One day, one of the strays is late for his shift change to watch over Snowy. When he finally arrives, he is out of breath. He explains the reason he is late is that he had heard some humans talking about a flyer from Snowy's owner, Mrs. White. She is desperate for news and devastated Snowy is lost. There is even a reward for her return. All the strays turn to look at Snowy, who suddenly stretches, yawns and opens her eyes and says, "Gosh, I'm so floofing hungry. Any chance of some brekkie?" The 7 strays exclaim in wonder, "Snowy, you're awake. What in the name of floof happened?" Snowy says, "I think I overdid it in my catnip patch the other day. I spent all day rolling around as it was such a lovely day. That's the best news I've had since I've been here. What are you all doing here?" Once all the cats have finished doing zoomies and spoins all round the garden in relief, they sit down and explain what has been discovered. Snowy is a bit confused, but agrees that he needs looking into. "The only problem is," Snowy said, "is I can't remember where I live." "Don't worry," say the cats, "your mum's address is on the flyer." The 7 cats and Snowy spend the rest of the day making a plan as to how they will return Snowy home. Phoebe said she would ask the Over the Rainbow Bridge cats to help them by lighting the way to Mrs. White's cottage at nightfall, and the woodland creatures said they would recruit local cats so that when they arrived at the cottage they would be dressed as carol singers and would sing a big song outside her door as loud as they could. So that night, with the Over the Rainbow Bridge stars shining brightly in the sky, Snowy and the cats arrive at Mrs. White's cottage. They knock on the door and start to sing. All of the cats and creatures meow and caterwaul at the top of their voices. It works! Mrs. White comes to the door to see what all the fuss is about. As she opens the door, Snowy rushes in and collapses at her mum's feet, rolling round and stretching and purring. She is so happy to be home. Mrs. White is ecstatic at the return of Snowy too, and invites all the strays in for some snacks and treats to reward them for their hard work. Mrs. White is so grateful that the 7 cats looked after Snowy so well. She asks them if they want to live in her cottage, where they would be warm and safe and never hungry again. They all happily agreed. Mrs. White looks at all of the cat hair on the carpet and sighs. I guess this new hen Hoover arrived just in time. At this point, Snowy realises her mistake. She had overheard Mum asking Siri to suggest the best Hoover that would get rid of cat hair, not a cat doll. As Mrs. White spent hours hoovering all of the new cat hair from her new cats, Snowy settled down in the big Hoover box, and they all lived happily ever after. The end.